In this video, we're going to talk about how you, as a leader, should respond to negative feedback when you hear it. So let's get into the details. Hello again, friends. Alex Lyon here, and this channel, Communication Coach, is all about helping rising leaders increase your own personal skills so that you can bring out the best in all the people that you lead. I believe that good communication and leadership change lives. And today's topic is how to handle and respond to negative feedback. This comes with the job description. The day you become a leader is the same day you start hearing negative feedback. So how do you respond to this when you get it? We're going to talk about 4 tips in terms of how to respond, as well as a bonus tip at the end of the video for how you should be collecting negative feedback or feedback in general in the first place. So tip number 1 on how to respond. As soon as possible, you want to metaphorically come alongside the person that is giving you feedback. In other words, we tend to take feedback personally, and we tend to face each other like boxers, right? We face off with them, adversarial positioning in our nonverbals and in our words. But instead, what you want to do is think about collaborating with that person. Show them that you are right alongside them, looking at this problem and trying to understand it together. So that's the first step. If you get defensive, it's going to shut the conversation down and it's going to get off the rails. The second thing you want to do is help the person generate possible solutions with you. Don't just let them give you the problem and leave. Coach them through a process and ask them, so do you have any possible solutions for the problem that we're talking about? If they don't have any possible solutions, then walk them through a process. What would an ideal solution look like? Now, when you start doing this, you'll find that many people don't just have a problem in mind, they have a solution that they've come with too. And they should be doing this, by the way. We always want to give problems, but also solutions to those problems. You don't want to just dump things on people. And by walking them through this process, you're helping to mentor them in that way. So once that conversation is over and you've thanked them and you've thought about the problems and the solutions, now you need to move forward and talk to other people. Do your homework, really. You want to ask a whole bunch of other people, look whatever data you need to understand to be fully informed on the nature of this problem. Sometimes you may find out that this is a huge issue and everybody knows about it and everybody cares about it. I had one situation recently, however, where I heard a particular piece of negative feedback. Someone came to me and said, really everybody thinks this. And then when I started asking other people, almost nobody thought that. It was really just this one person's opinion. And it turned out that the person was trying to get what they wanted for themselves, but they really didn't care about the rest of the group. So that's a great example of a time where I did my homework and I found out that this really wasn't an issue at all. So make sure you do your due diligence and look into the problem further after that initial conversation. And the 4th tip is try to solve about 1/3 of the problems that people bring you. Do your best. Aim for about 1/3. In my experience, leaders can generally handle responding and fixing about 1/3 of the issues that come to them. Another 1/3 of the issues are things that are the way they are for a reason. Maybe it's not ideal, but usually through a conversation, the person bringing you the feedback will at least understand that that's the way things are right now and that this is the best we can do right now. And then in about 1/3 of the cases, what you'll find is that these problems are basically set in cement. The people above you have already said no. There's no moving on this issue. So I say aim for 1/3 because I think it's a manageable number, but it's also through talking to people in workshops about what people would expect a good leader to be able to do. If you can solve about 1/3 of the problems that people bring you, they know that you're listening, they know that you care, and that you're doing your best to take action. It'll keep your credibility high. If you don't solve any of the problems that come to you, then you're going to lose a lot of credibility. And certainly nobody expects you to solve every single problem that they bring you. But about 1/3 of the time will set the right tone and keep the ball moving forward. So now, as a bonus tip, I would like to briefly talk to you about the best way to gather upward feedback. And the tip is this. You as the leader have the communication responsibility to develop upward channels for feedback. Organizations are built for top-down communication. They are not naturally built for upward communication. And you as the leader have to do things like surveys, focus groups, intense one-on-ones where you do a lot of listening for feedback, and then you gather feedback in a systematic way to make good decisions. And when you do this, a lot of the gossip will stop and negativity will stop. A lot of the squeaky wheels who just won't get their way will stop, and you're not going to deal with this weird perception issue like, oh, nobody here's listening. If you can do those things, then you'll be headed in the right direction. In fact, I have a whole nother video that I will link to about gathering upward feedback in the description below the video. Again, I'll try to put a card up here, and you can get to it through the YouTube homepage as well, on how to develop upward channels of communication. So, question of the day: what are your tips for handling negative feedback? I would love to hear your comments in that section below the video. Some of the most interesting comments and tips come from you as the viewer. So I look forward to reading those. So thanks, God bless, and I will see you next time. Hello again. Before we go, I'd like to tell you about a free mini course I created for you. It has 5 killer lessons in professional communication skills, concise, clear listening skills, building positive relationships, and problem solving. This is a foundational skill set that I believe every professional should develop. I will put a link to that free course in the description below the video, as well as maybe a pop-out that comes out here and the YouTube landing page. You can find it there. So thanks, God bless, take care.